We start with the Chiefs win, barely. Kansas City held on, literally, to Jermaine Johnson and the game to beat the Jets.
That's ridiculous.
I mean,
Well, those illegal hands to the face, I agree.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
agree.
Game-changing scramble from Mahomes on a 3rd and 22. And then 4 plays later, Mahomes throws his 3rd interception, and here comes the flag. Oh, I didn't know it was going to be intercepted. Flag on Sauce for a defensive hold.
That's a hold.
Here he is after the game. Sauce, that is.
He didn't throw the flag until after my MC picked the ball up. That's not how you do things. I ain't been in the league a long time, but I kind of know that that's not how you do things because I ain't hold him at the end. I don't think I held him to begin with. Like football, physical. If somebody running into me, it's gonna be contact. Like I'm I'm tall, long dude. He a tall guy too. Like you know what I'm saying. That's just how it's gonna be. But if you gonna call that flag, if you really feel that way, call it early.
Yeah. Call it the whole game when he was holding the whole game. And even in that quote right there, Sauce Gardner had a little Freudian slip. I didn't hold him late. What does that imply? Yeah, I mean, I held him early when I was turning him. But let's just talk about what it was, because I will admit this. That's an ugly practice, man. There's a lot of things to work on after that practice. As Belichick always would say, trying to have a great practice. Yeah. They didn't. Practice started well, up 17-0. Then Patrick decided to practice, looping throws to tight ends, which he didn't really need to. And evidently he needs more practice on him, actually. There were a lot of things the defense decided to start practicing, trying to get pressure without blitzing. It didn't happen. So there's a lot of things they need to tighten up in the next practice this coming week against your Super Bowl pick, the Minnesota Vikings.
Risky.
But let's talk about what everybody's all mad about, the officiating. And not the officiating when Terry McAulay came on the broadcast and said, yep, blown call shouldn't have been a safety because that helped the Jets.
Sure.
Or when Terry McAulay came on the broadcast and said, yeah, that's the opposite of a horse collar penalty, actually, and that helped the Jets. Instead, people on the broadcast were mad about a defensive hold that was a defensive hold. Sauce grabbed his shoulder and turned him. Then people on Twitter,
that's
the one you're about to see. People on Twitter then decided, you know what? We're going to find something else. We're going to find a holding penalty that was uncalled. That never happens in the NFL. We can show it again. The best case scenario for the Jets there is it's offsetting penalties. It's a hold on Donovan Smith and illegal hands to the face repeatedly.
He's trying to get away.
Yeah,
He's just like, get dude off
But
me.
here's the thing, Brew, and you know it and I know it, and Wilds will at least admit it even if you won't. Call the hold there, because on 3rd and 12, what did Mahomes do? Ran for a first down. Then on 3rd and 22, what did Mahomes do? Run for a first down. So you know what? On 3rd and 32, I think he'd have found a way to get. Well, if he didn't do it on 3rd and 22, you guys would have been laughing at that. And how did the game end? With Mahomes running for the game's sealing score. And now we're going to talk about the Chiefs got lucky when they hit the mercy button to not hang 30 on the Jets. They did.
That's true.
He took a knee at the 1. So, yeah, lucky. It was a bad
a lot
practice.
of people upset.
They trailed for 0 seconds in the game. Go ahead,
cost some people on the spread.
Well, be ready.
Look,
Be ready to
I
roll.
appreciate the costume, the whistle. It's cute, all right? And people know how I feel about Patrick Mahomes.
I'm starting to doubt it.
And I am essentially indifferent toward the Jets. I don't care about the Jets now, especially now that Aaron
They're not
Rodgers
like
is
your
hurt.
Nets.
Okay? Now, that said, Wilds, and you were probably with me last night, I was pulling so hard for the Jets to win that game just so I could come in here and hear my good friend Nick Wright and foil Nick Wright squirm today. All that said, though, Nick, I got to be honest. And the officiating, look, that was clearly a hold. I don't care what the other guy was doing for the Jets. It was a hold. All that said, the Chiefs would have won.
Yes.
Like, as I'm watching that game, and even as it's 2020 late,
of course,
I'm sitting there thinking, the Chiefs are still going to win.
Of course.
This is what they do, and this is especially, Nick, what they do against bad teams. Yeah. All right? Let's see the graphic Dusty and I whipped up. Last year, these are 5 of the worst 6 teams in the AFC last year. The Chiefs beat the Titans by 3. The Raiders by 1. The Broncos, 2 close games. They beat Indy. They lost to Indy.
Yep.
Houston took them
overtime.
to overtime. Yeah. And so this happens with the Chiefs. Look, I get it. I used to talk to the Warriors players about this. When you're winning championships like you are, it sometimes gets hard with these regular season games to get up, especially for some of the bad
Especially
teams.
when you get up 17-0 and it looks like it's going to be a walk.
And there's no Aaron Rodgers, it's Zach Wilson quarterback. So, I still think the officiating was bad. I would have loved for it to have gotten the Jets a nice win, but the Chiefs were going to find a way, and that's just what they did.
I'd like to see the real Chiefs show up, though. As you know, I came over to become a fan of the Chiefs, and I'm getting this.
They haven't looked good since you've done that.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe I've stained the offense somehow, but the offense just kind of middling. Patrick Mahomes, 84 games. I organized his passer rating. This was his 4th worst.
It was one of the worst games he's ever played, and yet he made all the plays to win. And yet, it's one of the worst games Patrick Mahomes has ever played, and yet every person watching it, when he got the ball at the end, said he'll find a way to come through.
Jets.
But it's the Jets. Okay, but 3rd and 22.
I know.
Were you shocked he picked it up?
No, of course.
Well, not with the guy like holding the defender like that. No.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Zach is back. 245 yards, 2 touchdowns. Basically, the best game he's played in his life. Marred by fumbling the snap, which gave Kansas City the ball in the game. Here's Zach and his coach. Take a listen.
To be driving right there and to drop a snap, I cannot do that. I lost us that game, and I cannot do that. And I was making it clear to those guys that I need to be better. I need to be better on the little things, the details. It can't happen.
I thought he was really good. Gave us a chance to win the game, brought us back. If he plays like that, we're going to win a lot of football games.
Okay. Shout out to Robert Saleh. He was getting a lot of heat for standing by Zach, and it worked out, besides the play that cost him the game. Did Zach prove he can be a starting quarterback?
All right, look, I've lived and worked as a member of the New York City media in the greater New York area for 25 years now. And I know that New York fans and media overreact positively and negatively to every little happening and occurrence and development, okay? And that's what's happening to some degree now. Correct. No, Zach Wilson did not prove that he's a starting quarterback in the league. What he did, Nick, he earned another shot. He earned a little bit of rope, a little more leeway, a little more patience. I've been sitting here, you guys know this, saying, why don't they go sign Carson Wentz? Not that he's anybody's savior, but he's still a legitimate NFL quarterback. Go get Carson Wentz. I'll step back because Zach Wilson earned the right to go out there and start next week. All right, so that's what he did to me. But it also shows us, Nick, how low the bar has become. Yeah. Because people are going gaga over him throwing for 245 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, but I heard that the Chiefs were this.
Well, I get okay,
defense.
but still,
I mean,
I showed you what bad teams have done against the Chiefs. Made them sweat a little bit at the end. Zach, this is his 3rd year.
Yeah,
usually a good quarterback will show glimpses. Even if he has a bad rookie season, a bad second year, you see glimpses. Oh, okay, this is like the first glimpse. It's his 3rd year.
I saw some.
The other glimpses when he threw for big yardage, he would always throw some interceptions or at least
one.
Is
the best game
and have lower completion percentage. This was a very good game. And again, I'm willing to sit back and be patient and see what he can do. I'm just saying the bar is so low that in your 3rd year, because you played decently and look like a legitimate NFL quarterback, people are going a little overboard.
So I want to be fair. He was, in my opinion, playing for his career and played the best game of his life.
He was very good.
I also think that is somewhat damning with faint praise that game was the best game of his life, right? That a game where the offense scores 18 points, they end up losing the game, and arguably the single biggest play of the game was his fumble, was universally accepted as the best game of his life. But I said going into it, it was going to be his last game starting, that they might go to Boyle and that next week it would be Simeon. And now he does have an opportunity in this regard. They have Denver next week.
Yeah.
Everybody throws on Denver. You had it, Wildes. In their last 2 first halves, Denver's forced 1 incompletion, and it was a failed Hail Mary. So, and now Denver, I know they came back and won, but they have Denver, Philly, who's really tough, and the Giants in the next 3 weeks. I would expect Zach to get all 3 of those games and have an opportunity to build on this. But I still now, we do Mahomes Mountain tomorrow. Did he earn a spot on the mountain? Maybe.
What?